Airbus A380 versus Boeing 747. For many decades since its launch in the 70s, the 747 set the standard for international, large, long-range hub-and-spoke air travel, the main backbone of long-range travel back in the 70s to 90s. Many subsequent upgrades were introduced to the 747 series, with the newest Dash 400 Advanced selling in huge numbers. Airbus, however, always wanted to challenge Boeing's dominance in the very large aircraft sector and dominate the long-range wide-body market going into the future with an even better VLA. Thus, by 1988, Airbus started VLA studies of their own. They wanted their VLA to be bigger and better than the 747. Boeing initially wanted to upgrade the 747s. However, following market research, they claimed the world did not need such a huge aircraft. They knew this due to declining sales of the 747-400 as airlines favored smaller twin jets like the 767 and newly launched 777 at the time. They believed in the point-to-point model, with smaller twin-engine aircraft having the same range as large quad jets flying more directly to their final destinations. Thus, they invested in a new and hugely efficient twin-engine smaller wide-body known as the 787. Airbus, however, continued to pursue this very large aircraft development, and by the 2000s they are ready to launch their A3XX, which today is known as the A380. Boeing eventually decided to upgrade the 747 as well with the same technologies developed already for the 787, and they did this to provide a freighter replacement for the 747-400 freighter, but also to compete with the A380 in the small passenger market. So, between the upgraded Queen of the Skies and the brand new A380, which is better? Before we find out, if you are new here, a warm welcome and do subscribe for more great videos on the way. Performance. The A380 carries 544 passengers in a 4-class cabin enabler's layout and flies 8,200 nautical miles. In a typical 3-class layout, it can take up to 550. The 747-8 Intercontinental seats 467 passengers 3-class and flies them to 7,730 nautical miles. So all in all, the A380 has more range and more seats. Engines. A380 uses 4 prior generation engines from both Rolls-Royce and the Engine Alliance. Interestingly, both Rolls-Royce and Engine Alliance promised Airbus that the GP7200 and Rolls-Royce Trent 900 engines on the A380 were the most advanced offerings they had back in the day. Each of these engines powering A380 produces up to 78,000 pounds of thrust. However, just 3 years later, Rolls and GE would develop brand new engines with new next generation technologies that would feature on Boeing's 787, the Trent 1000 and GE NX. The GE NX is also featured on the new 747-8, specifically the GE NX-2B derivative, with a larger 104.7-inch fan and higher bypass and pressure ratios. The new engines themselves contribute to around 10% better fuel burn. 747-8 engines each produce up to 66,500 pounds of thrust. Efficiency. The A380 is a fuel guzzler, not least due to its heavy structural weight, large wing and tail surfaces, as well as prior generation technologies. In terms of fuel burn per trip, it burns 13.78 kilograms per kilometer, and the fuel burn per seat is 3.16 liters per 100 kilometers per passenger in a 544 passenger 4-class layout. Fun fact, operating 2 787s will burn the same amount of fuel as one A380. The 747-8 is a lot more efficient than the A380 thanks to the new engines and lighter weight. It's 23% more fuel efficient per trip, burning 10.54 kilograms per kilometer, and 10% more fuel efficient per seat, burning around 2.82 liters per 100 kilometers. All in all, the 747-8 is more efficient, but the new twins are still way more efficient and a step ahead with 2 instead of 4 engines. Cabins. This is what me and you care about most. The The 747-8 features a new Boeing Sky interior inspired from the 787, with curved overhead bins, new mood lighting, curved cabin sidewalls. It gives a more spacious feel. The 747-8 also has new Wi-Fi and IV optional. It has a quieter cabin than previous 747s, but is still noisier and has drier air than the A380. All in all, there can be no dispute here. The A380 has the best cabin of any aircraft in the sky. With 550 square meters of space, it's over 40% more than the 747-400. This extra room allows for spas, showers, more luxurious apartments up front, and more spacious economy seats in the back, with up to 18.5-inch wide seats in a typical 10 abreast economy layout. A380 also has a quieter cabin, better air, and the mood lighting is optional as well as new IV and Wi-Fi. A380 is now available with a new cabin enablers layout for more efficient use of all that space, removing the front signature staircase and rear spiral staircase for more simple ones that add more seats, and the new 11 abreast economy class configuration with 18-inch wide seats on the lower deck. All in all though, the A380 is still the best cabin in the sky. Advantages and disadvantages. The 747-8 is more efficient, cheaper to produce, and has a lower list price. Also, it has the same pilot type rating as all the other 747s including the freighters, meaning airlines can operate both the passenger and freighter versions seamlessly, with minimal pilot transitioning. However, it has less performance, and in this market, performance is all that matters. A380 has more performance, which is a key selling point in the VLA market, and has the best cabin of any aircraft in the sky, making it a truly exclusive passenger experience. Also, for slot congested routes that justify filling it, it's a very good aircraft carrying more passengers. However, there's no freighter version and it's more expensive to operate than the 747-8 or two 787s. Both are flawed by their 4 engines, high weight and high capacity, meaning unless airlines can fill it, the high cost per trip is hard to justify for most routes. Twins nowadays have the same range, and this means they can fly the same routes, but as there are fewer seats, airlines don't need to fill as many seats to make a profit. The lower capacity basically means it's easier to fill those twins, which means it's easier to make a profit. Orders. The 747-8 has received a total of 157 orders, including 47 passenger versions. The A380 has received a total of 251 orders. So all in all, which is better? Well, the 747-8 is more efficient, is available in a freighter version as well, which we'll compare in another freighter comparison. However, in my view, for VLA, it's slightly too small and too close to the largest of large twins, for example the 777 in capacity. In this market, performance is what matters, and the A380 with more seats allows airlines to carry more passengers into slot congested airports in one go. It also has more range and has a better cabin. Both, however, still failed commercially, and the future of long-range travel, in my view, is in the point-to-point model, with the new large long-range twins going further distances with better operating economics than ever before. Thanks for tuning in, and till we meet next time. One team, one aviation, one sky ahead.